Last year, I first proposed to my husband the idea of allowing our preteen daughter to ride the metro in DC alone. She wants to take Irish dance classes in the city, and a weekly drive in from the Maryland suburbs is too much for our family schedule. Then came story after story of stabbings, gang violence, and even a shooting on the metro, and my proposal went back on the shelf. We moved to the DC suburbs because of its proximity to the best our nation's capital has to offer. I frequently take our 6 kids into the city to explore the Smithsonian museums, attend performances at the community center, and soak in all the living civic lessons that are Washington, D.C. But in recent years, that promise has started to unravel. The metro stations that once filled us with civic pride now fill us with unease. City streets feel less predictable and less policed. And worst of all, none of it feels like an accident. Since the pandemic and the 2020 protests, Washington, D.C. has been spiraling. Police were demoralized, prosecutions declined, and repeat offenders walk free. The result? Growing lawlessness and a population that no longer feels protected. Just this week, a former Doge employee risked his life to save a woman from being assaulted by a group of a dozen teens in the city. He was beaten so severely that he suffered a concussion, but he prevented what could have been a much worse and much more tragic outcome. Elon Musk shared the story on X and added his own conclusion. It's time to federalize DC. And he's not the only one that feels that way. President Donald Trump posted a blistering statement on Truth Social, declaring that crime in Washington, D.C. is totally out of control. He pointed to youth gangs, violent assaults, and the lack of consequences for offenders. If D.C. doesn't get its act together, and quickly, Trump warned, we will have no choice but to take federal control of the city and put criminals on notice that they are not going to get away with it anymore. Critics will call this authoritarian. But for parents like me, people trying to raise independent, confident children in this area, the idea is simply a relief. And it isn't just about families and tourists either. In May, a House staffer was the victim of an armed carjacking in Navy Yard. In July, a congressional intern, 20-year-old Eric Tarpon Jakayam, was killed in a drive-by shooting that also injured a 16-year-old boy and a woman. If we want the best and the brightest to visit our city and serve in government as staffers, civil servants, and interns, we need to offer them a capital that's safe to live in. And right now, we can't. If staffers, students, and commuters can't move through the city without fear, what exactly are we doing? I'd love to hand my daughter a flip phone and a smart trip card and give her a taste of independence, but I can't. Not while metro attacks are happening weekly, not while carjackings plague every neighborhood, and not while city leaders stand paralyzed, caught between ideology and inertia. Washington, D.C. should be a national showcase, but unless someone restores order, the city will continue its descent into fear and frustration. The message from parents, federal workers, and even tech billionaires is the same. Enough is enough. We want our kids to love this city, but more than that, we want them to be safe in it. And that shouldn't be too much to ask.